Hey everybody, today I've got some tips to help you get your combination baskets and containers to kind of mix a little bit more, because I've seen a lot of you making comments about the fact that you're a little disappointed because when you plant up your combinations, you kind of end up with plants that just kind of stick together. So all, the red petunias here, the yellow calibrachoas here, and the verbena sticks here, and they don't really mix really well. Well, there's a couple things that you can do to help kind of promote them to kind of mix and have that look that you're looking for where they're all integrated together. The first thing though you need to consider are the types of plants that you're choosing. So choosing varieties that tend to have more of a trailing habit tend to be the best at mixing, because they have those little arms, and those little arms will find their way through other plants. So those are the ones that tend to be really good at mixing better, and you're able to kind of control that a little bit more, and you get usually a better effect. If you have, like, a lot of verbenas are more, they're mounding and trailing, but there are several varieties that are upright and mounding. So those kind are never going to have that trailing action. They're not going to send out the little arms that appear in different places. So that's the same thing, like a lot of begonias won't do that as well. There's plenty of plants that aren't great at mixing. They tend to like to stay in their kind of bouquet, and the other plants kind of work around them. So keep that in mind when you're choosing your plants. Meanwhile, if you do have varieties, like the most popular kind of mounding and trailing varieties, and really look for that word trailing, are going to be like Calibrachoa, Petunia, Verbena. Those are the three most popular ones, and for the most part they're pretty easy to work with. One thing that I would recommend is, like, let's say you're only putting 3 plants in there, but there's 3 different colors. That's usually where people have the big problem. If you put 6 plants in there and you alternate the colors, usually they're going to integrate a lot better. But when you're following like the tips, because I'm kind of known for putting fewer plants in and letting them get bigger as individual plants, a lot of times that becomes more of an issue with that kind of color blocking that happens. What you can do in those situations is, whatever container you're using, I would recommend trying to plant all 3 of those plants as close to the center as possible. It's going to feel a little unnatural because we like to think of having soil all the way around them. Don't worry about it. What's going to happen is you're going to plant them really close together, and those roots are going to find their way to that good soil that's around them. So they're just going to grow outward rather towards each other, and that's going to be just fine. So don't hesitate to do that. So the smaller the plant is, usually the better it is at being able to kind of do that, because if they start out young that way, they tend to play nicer with their neighbors, whereas once they're really established, a lot of times they kind of have that ball of plant there and they just kind of sit there. Sometimes also when you plant them, if you cut them back just a little bit, like just take a little bit off so that you take off maybe a third, sometimes that can encourage a little bit more growth, and that might help them kind of integrate a little bit more. But it really depends on the size of plant that you get and which plant you're dealing with. Now the other thing though that you can do is, while they're growing, you can help train those plants go into different directions, and I'm going to show you how we do that and what we pay attention to. So like with this container here, we're getting pretty good coverage on this. The one thing that I do notice is, like, the Petunia here is a little heavy duty. The Calibrachoa is staying a little bit more in the center. The Verbena, the Lobelia here, that's the blue one, that's growing really nice throughout. But what we can kind of try to do is, I can go through and look at some of these branches of the Calibrachoa, and you can see, oh look, there's a nice branch coming out there. I'm going to leave that one, but sometimes I can find another one and I can kind of just train it to go in another direction. So I'm finding, look at this, I'm finding some Calibrachoa right in there. I'm going to actually take this one, pick it up, and I'm going to just use the edge of the pot to kind of push it over on this side of it, because I do want some more Calibrachoa growing on this side. And I find that if I do that just a little bit every once a week, go in and do a little bit of that, it really does work. Now sometimes I might cut back like a Petunia, because some of these plants, like, they kind of come into their own a little bit sooner than other ones. So like this Petunia could start to dominate. I might just snip it back so that the other ones have a little bit better chance. And a prime example of that is over here on this one. I'm not sure how we came up with this combination. There are 2 very different pink Calibrachoa in here. This is not something we would normally do. I'm wondering, there's 2 of them, so I'm wondering if somehow we just flip-flopped them. This one was supposed to be all of this one, and then this one, there was going to be a separate one, or maybe we were just trying something different. I'm not sure. I didn't pick this one. But what you might not realize is, in here, underneath it all, there's a poor verbena. And this verbena is suffering because the Calibrachoa grew really fast. The verbena was kind of sluggish and it has not been getting any sun. So some of it has died back already. And so we're going to need to trim off the dead parts there. I am going to trim back some of this Calibrachoa as well. It's not going to look good for a good 2 or 3 weeks, but I'm hoping that it'll give that verbena a chance to bounce back. I'm also going to make sure that I give it its fertilizer at least once a week. I might do like 1 or 2 weeks where I maybe give it a little bonus fertilizer somewhere in there. So that's all I would do, is take my snips and just cut them back. And I forgot my snips. I'll go get them right now. So got my snips. I did spray them with isopropyl alcohol. That helps sanitize them because I don't want to be spreading any, if there's any kind of disease or bugs or anything on any of these plants. So that's all I do, is jump in here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Is I'm going to just give this whole Calibrachoa a bit of a haircut so that I can let more sunlight in on that verbena. This is a little, I should have found this sooner, and I should have tried to salvage this before. It's a little late to be coming in here and doing this now because this verbena is pretty far behind. This one might not ever look quite right because I waited so long. I should have paid attention to it, but there's a lot of new growth on this verbena. So I think with some fertilizer, I'll just take some of the ugly leaves off. So there's a chance. Now, right now, looks really bad. There's a big hole in the middle. We don't like that at all. However, as we give it time, I'm going to say 2 or 3 weeks, we might start seeing a big change in this plant. So that would be really, really nice to have happen. Now we're going to look at a couple other ones. So like this one here, this one has the Supertunia Tiara Blue and the Supertunia Saffron Finch. And you can see we're getting a little heavy with the blue over here. So what I like to do is I go in, and because it's one Saffron Finch in the middle, what I can do is just kind of train some of these arms to kind of come out a little bit farther. And hopefully they can, if I kind of just kind of force them underneath there, they're going to push their way out. That's usually what, so we want to keep an eye on it. I could also trim back some of these. I'm not going to do that. I mean, I could maybe trim back. No, I'm not going to trim anything right now. We're just going to see how it's going to go. Now, sometimes these little plans and these little efforts don't actually make a difference, and you just have to live with that color blocking that happens. But, if you're paying attention to it, like I said, especially early on, a lot of times it's pretty easy to get, better results on that. Now, this one here, one thing that happens with this kind of basket, like the Bidens tends to be really early. Then when the Petunia comes on, tends to come on really strong. There is a Calibrachoa in here. I'll be honest, I'm pretty happy with how this is mixed. It's pretty consistent. The only thing is that the center is almost all Petunia. So what I can try to do, and hopefully this will kind of work, is I can kind of try to train a couple branches towards the center. And then hopefully just that crossing over of these plants is going to help that mix a little bit more. Again, sometimes you have great success with this, and sometimes it's not quite as effective. Now, if I did notice that either the Bidens or the Petunia was really getting vigorous and really taking over, I would trim it back. I'm not afraid to say, to tame it and put it in its place. But the problem with that is that you can end up with maybe a little stretch where it's not as attractive. So sometimes I just let the container do what it's going to do. I'm going to put a little bit more Bidens towards the middle as well, because I feel like, I know the Bidens is the kind of plant that it can be pretty vigorous, and it can definitely kind of help fight itself against Petunia, even more so than a lot of the Calibrachoas can. So I'd want to do it maybe from both sides. So we'll give it a try. Hopefully they're going to do great and they're going to look really good. But I know some of you guys were asking about this. I wanted to show you what we do here. Sometimes we have great success, sometimes not, but just keeping an eye on that and just not being afraid to maneuver those. And if it's in a hanging basket, don't be afraid to use these little arms as kind of the holders for some of those plants. We have done it before where we had little stakes that we put in to kind of force a branch to go in a certain direction. The only thing is you probably want to remove that at a certain point, just because it can get a little kind of wonky in there. But otherwise, hey, it's a lot of fun. So I like being able to kind of work with these a little bit and see the results. Sometimes, it doesn't work, but they still end up looking really good. So that's kind of nice. So anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. Hope this tip helps you a little bit, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.